Hello, everyone. Hi, hi. Hi, Goldie. Hold on. Okay, so I was just switching from Spotify music to the in-game audio. That should be done. But hi, welcome on in. We're continuing Haste today. I wanted to do a bit more of a chill thing because I'm a bit tired. And I was like, if we play Minecraft, I might fall asleep halfway. But yeah, welcome on in. Let's try and see if you remember how to play this. So I think we've been here. We'll take this route. But how's everyone been? Okay, let me try again. Okay, we're supposed to find a portal. Ugh. What does the portal look like, though? Do you see it? I am not seeing a portal. Oh, there it is. I don't think we're gonna make it. Oh, wait, we did. That was a surprise. I am in desperate need of health. I'll take it. Okay, it seems that I've not forgotten how to play, which was a concern for me. Okay, we're looking for sparks, because I am dying. That's not fair. Okay, we seem to be doing fine. Some good news. I have mostly finished all my commissions for October. Some bad news. I discovered my PC was heavily infested with viruses. Because I saw that one video on YouTube. It's like, this is what malware looks like in 2025. So out of curiosity, I just started going through what it was doing on the video on like how to check. Yeah, I was very surprised. Trojans everywhere. I did share it in the Discord, in case anyone was curious. Gone are the days when viruses were just super obvious and in your face. You could easily just get rid of them. I'm not even old yet, but I find my grasp of technology slipping. What on... Ooh. What the hell was I supposed to do? Anyway. But yeah, apparently viruses are sneaky these days. Because if you go into like the exceptions folder on your antivirus, it's literally just full of stuff that is just like, hey, when you scan the computer for viruses, you do not scan these folders. And I was like, I don't remember setting that. And that's when I asked myself, have I lost touch already? Is technology getting out of hand? At what point do I start buying a cane? I gave up on Windows 20 years ago and only use it for gaming purposes. Honestly, fair. Even then, only due to DRM and anti-cheat. Uh-oh. To be fair, I would be a Linux user if I didn't have to install drivers and specific software just to use every single little thing. I think that's what the good thing about Windows is. A lot of the software is just plug and play. I have used Linux for my Raspberry Pi, and I do know how to navigate my way around it. I just think it's super inconvenient. But honestly, it just has pros and cons. I'll take this one. That isn't really an issue nowadays unless you talk about NVIDIA. Yeah, but I'd use my PC for gaming. Better to deal with the devil you know. Yeah, honestly, that's true. Unfortunately, the devil I know most is Windows. Honestly, maybe that's like the strongest case someone can make for having children. When technology gets too advanced for you to keep up, you can just get them to do it. And then when they complain, they're like, oh my god, you're so old. How do you not know how to interface your neural network into the TV? And then you can go, back in my day, my father couldn't even plug in the printer. But I find I'm more in tune with tech than teenagers. To be honest, I think there's actually... When it comes to tech literacy, I think it is millennials and older Zoomers. They tend to be the most tech literate. Gen Alpha and onwards just don't know how to use a technology. There's even a meme that's like, there's exactly one generation that knows how to, I think, rotate a PDF or something, if I remember the meme correctly. But there is some truth to it. I think some of my younger friends, yeah, they can barely turn on a computer. If I'm being completely honest. To be fair, I think when... Wait, hold on, what's this? Never mind, I can't afford it. Sorry, what was I saying? At least those I'm related to? Understandable. Hold on, I had a thought. Right, sorry, I think before, like in the earlier days of the internet, mainly the people who used it were those who were more in tune with tech, if that makes sense, you know? Because it wasn't as straightforward as a lot of apps are now, if that makes sense. I think when it hit like mainstream and everything was like so easy, even their grandma could use it, a lot of people lost, not lost, but never really had the need to develop the concept of like how the technology works, like, you know, the underlying processes, if that makes sense. So I'm trying to concentrate on the game and speak, if you get what I mean. Like, if everything works, you know, super smoothly, is very user friendly, you'd never have to dig around like your PC settings, your control panel, all of that nonsense, right? But in doing so, you slowly get like, I'm talking like when you're very young, first starting to use a computer. That would usually be your first experience starting to like understand, oh, this is a computer, this is how it works, this is how it's tweaked, etc., you know? That's what this does, this is what this is for, you know? Take this. I don't think a lot of I don't think it's really needed anymore. It's kind of why AI is kind of bad, like for people who are in school, because school is mainly not really teaching you things per se, but kind of teaching you how to learn. I'd say that's like the best argument for school. They teach you how to write, how to make presentations, etc., all that stuff, right? The problem with using ChatGPT for everything is you're not learning how to do the research. You're just asking, hey, is this true? ChatGPT says yes. And you're like, okay. You put that in your report, your essay is done. You never think about it again. For similar reasons, I don't think a lot of people really get in tune with tech as much as before. They are, you know, it's not like this is how it is for everyone. But I feel like it's more and more uncommon for someone to really need to understand how the computer works, and mainly they just learn how the app works of whatever platform they're using. I wonder if that is making sense. People don't know how to use all the knobs and dials anymore. Exactly, sorry, that's a much better way of putting it. Instead of learning the knobs and dials, they just know how to push the button that does the thing. They're like that one guy in Legend of Korra. He's like, Julie, do the thing. He doesn't even know what the thing is. She just does it. I feel like that's what, I think that's what the internet is devolving into. But I don't think it's hopeless or anything like that. We don't doom here. But it's just more of a interesting thing to take note of. I'm not collecting money. It just means I may have a job until I retire. Honestly, not to be a bit selfish, But one of the advantages of the younger generations being not competent is you're less likely to be replaced. Personally, I love knobs and dials. One of my favorite things is understanding how things work, which is actually how I got into making VTuber models. It's not that I was interested in VTubing specifically, but I just saw like a VTuber model for the first time and I was like, how does that work? And then I started looking at tutorials, not to like make the art itself, but mainly just to understand how it was done. Because I'm like, this is a 2D image. How do they make it 3D? You know? Anyway, one thing led to another, and now this is my full time job. Ooh. Sorry. Got distracted. Click the wrong button. I like how the music starts to get a little distorted as the thing gets closer. It's very creepy. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I don't think I'm doing so well today. I wonder why. I'm not sure what increases the speed here. We're off our game today. Oh. Yeah, I have no idea what the plot is. I don't think I'm interested. Let's try that again. Maybe one day we'll actually finish this game. I think getting a perfect landing is what speeds you up. But I spend most of my time airborne. Ooh, yesterday I had a group call with my friends, and I was walking them through what I actually do for a living. And I had like a whole presentation going because one of them uh, is into poetry and they really want to start like posting their stuff on social media. So I was like, hey, let me show you what like I've been doing, and hopefully you can draw inspiration in like the techniques that I've used, like how I market my Twitter and this and that, or at least used to. Okay, so yeah, I had to explain what VTubers were. Which is surprisingly not a difficult thing to do anymore. Hi, Orca. Welcome on in. We are playing better Subway Surfers. I'm becoming one with the codes. What do you mean by that? Are you programming? Maybe. You said you're becoming one with the code, so I'm assuming it's going well. That's nice to hear. What are you working on? If you don't mind me asking. If not, stupid. So silly game. Oh, okay. I immediately assumed The Matrix. I used to play the PS2 game. It was pretty fun. Does this just give us health every 2 seconds? No, I'm not brave enough to take that chance. So it was offering me an item. Not even programming, but I already feel the torture. How do you feel the torture if you're not programming? What are we talking about? Maybe I'm getting lost and confused. Simple. I know jack shit about coding. Well, we all start somewhere. Devs aren't born, they're made. Uh-oh. What language is being used? I feel like I'm losing practice. Slowly forgetting how to code. I think I noticed this most strongly when I was building the little robot for my housemates. It's something that should have taken like way shorter, if that makes sense. So I was like, maybe I need to start making things just to keep myself fresh, because it has been a while. Because my previous job was more in the sales side than anything else. So I didn't really do much there. And I moved here, now I'm an artist. So I don't get much practice. When it comes to skills, if you don't use it, you lose it, that kind of deal. It doesn't help that you use a package one day and is depreciated the next. I think I used to save a lot of my old Arduino code when I was like a student. So if I was building something similar, I could just like reuse old code like that. What I would absolutely hate is just randomly trying to reuse that old code, and then all I hear is yeah, this library doesn't work. Oh, this thing is outdated. Yeah, we use this thing. Yeah, I absolutely hated that. There was no need to change it. It was working fine. It's not even like a massive library for something insane or anything. It's just like simple electronical components. Yep, compiler was updated and breaks everything. Is that it? Oh, okay. I was wondering why. But yeah, I think for the longest time, I refused to update the IDE out of sheer stubbornness. But then I got my new computer. But fortunately, I think you download like the older versions. Ow. Okay, we made it. Coding is so complex. To be fair, yeah. I was gonna say mainly in the beginning. Later it starts to get easier, but I think that's a lie. The more advanced you are, the more advanced your problems. You level up, but so do your challenges, that kind of deal. Enjoy the back end, but can't stand front end. Makes sense. For me, a lot of my coding experience is stuff that translates to physical movement. So not a lot of UI design is needed. It's mostly just code to make sure things are running correctly. One line of code could have at least 10 errors. I see why I don't have a lot of good games on mobile. Those feel a little unrelated. Also, if you have 10 errors in one line of code, I'm impressed. To be fair, I think... Ooh, did you guys see? I think the EU is trying to ban like microtransactions. Uh-oh. So basically all of mobile gaming is doomed. Gacha games, your Honkai Star Rail, evaporating to ash. I don't think they're gonna ban it. I think they want it to be regulated differently. It's one of those things that I agree with the spirit, but I don't know. Because I hate microtransactions. They're very predatory. How do I speed up? Jesus Christ. Hold on. I'm trying to survive. Oh, thank God. Whew, that was close. Oh, no, we don't need to spend money on gacha game. If it was that simple, yeah. I don't know. You see, the thing is, it's not as simple as them just going, oh, we're gonna ban microtransactions, because you know the law is never that simple. I think what they want to do is like, hey, in-game money counts as like a digital currency, kind of like Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, that kind of stuff. So they want to treat like your, for example, if you've played Genshin, they want to start treating what's it called, primo gems. They want to start treating it the way you treat Bitcoin, at least in a legal sense. So when they say they want to, you know, they say we're banning microtransactions, but really they're just regulating it a lot more. How's your day going, Ordi? It's going okay. We have died several times in this game already. I feel like last time we only failed like twice, whereas today in the first 30 minutes we failed like 3-4 times. I think like the argument for banning, you know, in-game currencies, that kind of stuff, I think their rationale was, oh, we want to keep like children away from gambling. But I did see like the charts and the math, and the underage people who actually spend money on these things was actually a pretty small percentage, to be honest. So I don't know. It feels a bit like a mess, and I'm just hoping it works out in the end. Shit. Okay. A speed game? Yeah, this is Haste. It's been super fun. The only gacha game I play is very free to play friendly. Is Arc Knights. I've heard of it. Never played it. I would agree with not letting kids do that, but who is the government to tell an adult what they can spend their money on? You know what? Fair. I think personally, I have a little bit of an addictive personality. So I would never spend any money on any gacha game out of principle. Because I feel like once I open that door, I don't think I could close it. Also, I have no idea how the hell we're supposed to defeat this thing. That was quick. Ooh. It says attack the machine, but how? What do we do? Okay. There's money falling off of it. I lost it. Okay. Hi, Maxine. We are fighting for our lives here. Okay. Do we run along this thing? How the hell are we supposed to kill this thing? We're supposed to hit something. But what? I think I tried running into these things before. Uh-oh. But I don't think it does anything. Uh-oh. Yeah, see, we hit it, but nothing happens. Headbutt it? But where? The other ones we just... Do you mean like head on? Wait, is that something in its head? Hold on. Maxine, you're a genius. Okay, so now we know what to do. Uh-oh. Okay, we need to cut it off. And the snake, we're trying. I think we reached this boss last time, but we kept failing. Also, I lost it. Oh, there it is. Ooh. Okay, we need to circle around. Beautiful. You know what? We got this. It's very fast. That's the problem. That's not good. How do you lose a giant snake? That's what I was thinking. Ooh. Okay. We need to be smart about this. Which, arguably, not my strongest suit. Okay, ideally, we need to cut it off from the side, right as we hit a ramp. God damn it. One more hit and we got it. Use your big brain already. I'm trying. The brain juice is depleted. We did it. Okay. It's like Snake's Way from... I've never watched Dragon Ball. I think I've seen a couple shorts of the abridged version, and I know fight scenes last like half the season. But that's about it. Complete shard. Ooh, that woke me up a little bit. Okay. We are just skipping all of this. And on to the next. I actually don't know how long this game is. But I'm having a great time. So I don't think I hope it doesn't end soon. But it's very replayable. And it does have a free demo on Steam, so if you're interested, I recommend checking it out. It's just a bit of a bummer you don't keep your upgrades from like the previous chapter, whatever you call it. Uh-oh. Ooh, that was close. It looks like it sold 260 to 482,000 copies. That is impressive. I wouldn't have been able to tell. Because to be fair, if you look at if you select it as a category on Twitch, it's like 20 to 40 people streaming it in that category, you know? Maybe it's popular, but just not a popular streaming game, if that makes sense. I do not have speed. No. Okay. Never mind. We need to focus. And I need to remember to use that board ability. Ow. Ugh. Its meantime played around 7 hours, median 4 hours, but popularity has been on the rise. All it takes is one person to stream it to the right audience for it to take off. Take that back, its popularity was in August. Okay, we're just a late adopter. I actually did see a speed, yeah. I did see someone talking about when popular games come out on, you know, like games that everyone starts streaming. I think right now it's what, RV there yet? Or like when Peak came out. No, I don't think Peak is a good example, but single player games. I think their argument was, it's if you're not like the largest creator, it's not the worst idea to wait a little bit until the hype dies down a bit, before streaming it so that, sure, everyone will kind of know the game already, but they would have taken a breather from it so that by the time you start playing it, uh, they wouldn't have just come from like 7 different streams of the exact same game, you know? So I thought that was an interesting take. I don't know what truth there is to it. I want stuff. Don't I yap with them? But yeah, I saw that and I was like, interesting. Okay, we need health. It's also easier to get lost in the list when everyone is playing it. That is true. I shall go charge my phone. Okay. Well, if you're leaving, thanks for stopping by. But yeah, I think that's why, even though my streams are classified kind of as yapping streams, but I'm in the art category. Because sure, the just chatting category has like a way larger audience, but at the same time has way more competition. So I think if I ever switch to just chatting streams, I would kind of just get lost under like the tens of, actually probably tens of thousands. It wouldn't be hundreds of thousands of channels all doing just chatting streams, you know? Because I think with like the art channel, there are some people who have just stumbled in randomly. Usually they're just like scrolling through and then they're like, oh, I saw a cat in a teacup. That looked kind of weird. And then they click on the stream. Was not expecting that. But yeah, you get what I mean? Sure, there is less potential viewers, in quotes, but at the same time, far less competition. But at the same time, again, you don't want to be in a category that has like maximum 2 viewers. If that makes sense. I wish Twitch showed how many people are streaming in the category, not just the viewers. Maybe they don't want it to seem a bit depressing for, what's it called? The people who potentially want to stream in that category. Instead, they're like, oh, this is how many viewers are here. They could all be yours, rather than these are how many people you have to fight with. If that makes sense. Because I feel Twitch doesn't just market to advertisers, they also market to other creators to show how nice the platform is so that they stream here and not on like YouTube or Kick. You know, I'm starting to notice the increasing difficulty. For a second, I thought I went through that. I was so hopeful. It can be a good place to test things. That is true. Hits one object. This game is getting harder. Yeah, because previously I wasn't hitting any object. Mm, I think I'll take the health one. I wanted to say it hits one thing. This is getting harder was basically the theme of my driving lessons if I was a terrible driver. Fortunately, I never bumped into anything, so, that's good. Hi, Ziggy. Welcome on in. We're playing Haste and yapping. Said we can ask anything. What is life? Life is this wacky, whimsical adventure that we have, and then the sun explodes. Beyond that, I'm not the cat you should be asking. But hi, welcome on in. No, wait, I'm poor. I can't afford anything. You know what? 10 out of 10 game. Very realistic. But how's it going? So you're saying life exists after the sun explodes. Interesting. You know what? It should. We need to invest in space travel. We need to turn Earth into the equivalent of Super Earth, but minus the evil aliens, I like space travel and sci-fi. I think one of the games I love playing on my potato PC that could barely run it was Space Engineers. I had a great time. I never played multiplayer. No, because it seemed like a horrible experience, but I loved building my little ships. I wanted to build a giant space station, so I made the mistake of building it on the ground. Launching it into space was a nightmare. Nope, I prefer to become digitized and sent to a supercomputer made around the sun. You will be on some corporation's supercomputer, and you are now their captive audience. You think YouTube ads are annoying? You have not seen what they could inject into your consciousness. You'll be asleep in your digital world, and you will be dreaming about the Double Down Zinger Burger. That sounds like a nightmare. Hi, Amber. Welcome on in. We're talking about man-made horrors beyond comprehension. Yeah, no, you don't build one huge station on Earth. Yeah, you're supposed to send it up into space, but then again, I was like... how old was I? I was kind of young. And initially, it started as my ground base, and I was like, what if I launched my base into space, So yeah, it was pretty fun. I didn't experience it too much because my potato PC couldn't really handle it too well. Then I got this one, but at that point I was way older and just didn't have the same amount of free time I did. Ow. Bro thinks he's an up. To be fair, that was basically it. I learned the hard way that the game has very realistic physics when it comes to weight distribution. Simply because I built a mining ship and put all the storage tanks on top of it. So it was fine at first. Until I started filling it up and I got top heavy and immediately tipped over and fell like a turtle. I've never seen Up. Honestly, beautiful movie. Banned. You know what? Yeah, your band. Show us a screenshot of the credits of the movie, then we'll know. Hold on, I'm trying to catch this thing. Show us a screenshot of the end credits of the movie, and you'll be allowed back in here. Been exiled. Nah, don't worry about it. I just kid. Okay, first of all, this thing is cheating. Huh. To be fair, it is a beautiful movie. Made for a bit of a younger audience, but I think it holds up really well. Speaking of movies, one of my friends pitched the idea of a watch party, and they're like, "Oh, I want to watch this one dumb movie." They're like, it had a pregnant lady and everything was exploding. They were talking about disaster movie. Oh wait, we have ads. Should you pause the game? Or do we just continue? But yeah, basically, that friend just had to say dumb shit like that, and I was like, "Oh, you're talking about disaster movie," and I'm like, "You know what? You're right. We should have a watch party, and each time we start picking. You know what? Hold on. I actually made a chat. It's on my other Discord, and yeah, never mind. I can't change to it. But yeah, it had all of my favorite movies that I had pitched to my friends. There is disaster movie. There's the scary movie series. There is the new Naked Gun movie. Because these are friends who I don't think they'd really be into the very old style movie, so I wouldn't show them the originals. But yeah, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. Date movies, another one. I considered The Princess Bride, but I don't think they would like it. What else? Superhero movie is a good one. Anyway, spoof movies are basically my favorite genre. What's another one that I'm missing? Basically anything after like 1990, anything before that, they might be a bit hesitant because they'd be like, but this is old movie. They're not too fond of like the dry humor of like the older films, if that makes sense. Otherwise, I would have shown them like Spaceballs, Blazing Saddles, you know, that kind of stuff. How long are the ads? It took me a very long time to realize that there's actually a countdown for it. I'm a little embarrassed. This is just like driving. I was trying to maintain my speed. So what I was doing is I was looking at the little stick that shows you the speed on the speedometer, like some ancient Neanderthal. Turns out there was actually a digital number showing the speed exactly to help me avoid speeding, and it took me like the third lesson to realize it was there. So yeah, I decided not to point that out to my instructor so he doesn't think that I'm an idiot. But yeah, other than that, driving lessons have been going pretty well. I think the last time I drove was like 8 years ago. So my driving classes are mainly remembering how to drive and learning how to drive in a country where people know what traffic laws are, rather than the nonsense of just swerve out of whoever is next to you in my home country. So yeah. Okay, ads are done. We can continue the game. Welcome back, everyone. Okay, okay, this is I see the cracks appearing behind me. Okay. Seem to be doing well. I think I just needed to get into the groove of it. We started off pretty badly, but I think we just needed to shake off the rust. There we go. E. I thought that was at least a B score. Honestly, Up is a good movie. I wouldn't call it a must watch. It's sweet and wholesome, good vibes if that's what you're looking for. Like if you're down, maybe want something cheerful, I would go for, yeah, I'd go for Up. It's a good movie, sweet, wholesome, has a happy ending, you know? I need more books. Who here is a fan of fantasy? I'm talking like mainly fantasy, not the TikTok romantasy stuff. It's not too bad. I'm just not the target demographic for it. They'll be talking about romance and I'm like, but you haven't explained how the magic works in this world. I need to know. I don't care about your love triangle. That's the kind of person that I am. I think even with like the Brandon Sanderson books, there's a lot of like subplots and other side characters who they play a significant role, but I'm like, I don't care about these people. I think we're good for health. We'll take it anyway. But yeah, I love magic systems. And if anyone has ever read any of Brandon Sanderson's works, his systems are very detailed and very well explained. And I think that's what has drawn me to him as a creator. Days Without a Mention Zero. I actually have a counter in like the channel point redeems for times mentioned. I'm going to be honest. During the Potts Foundation charity thing, there's like, hey, send something in this channel, something you're passionate about. I wanted to just send no context, a picture of the author. Those who know will know. But to be fair, you should have. I did. I sent a picture of my r/male living setup when I first moved here. This is before I had any furniture. I was just like on the ground. Is this another train that I have to like climb into the back? Ooh. Okay. Okay. See, this one is simple enough. Ow. Feather mentioned really liking the stream where, or the part of the stream where they were showing off, like, you know, people sharing stuff. And he did mention maybe bringing that back for maybe like his subathon or debut or something. So there's always a next one. I'm gonna share my music hyperfixation, but then I have to send songs out. Hold on, let me not read. See, health upgrades, definitely worth it. Okay, I want to share my music hyperfixation, but then I have to send songs that most people wouldn't be into and risk DMCA. Understandable. Do you know what I do? So I had a very different taste in music growing up. Very loud, angry music, which, was not the current trend in my high school. So I was one of those people that just would never share their songs. But, every single time people are like, oh, we want to know what kind of music everyone is into. So they like pass like an aux cable. Back in the day, we didn't have Bluetooth speakers. We had audio jacks. Yeah, I had like a really loud rock music, metal music, that kind of stuff. So people would always like be curious what kind of songs I would be into. So I'm like, hey, no worries, of course, pass me the cable. What I would play is, I won't be able to play this, but I'll just send a screenshot. If you know, you know. Hold on. Wait, let me screenshot this. Ever heard the He-Man cover of this song? So every time someone passes me the aux cable, I would start playing this, and very soon people stopped asking me to play music. And my job, this thing had accomplished its job, right? Same thing even in university. Like whenever anyone asks, zero hesitation. I have a playlist on Spotify with it saved so that I'm like, okay, say no more. I plug in my phone, immediately start playing it. And there was a time people actually thought that this is what I would listen to in my free time. And that was hilarious. They're like, you know what? He's a little odd, but we accept him anyway. Then I had to explain to them, no. But yeah. Oh God, so you are familiar. Shit, another metalhead. Have you watched the TV show Metalocalypse? I love the soundtrack. Honestly, beautiful show. I'm planning on it. You are in for a treat. It is it's very dumb, dry humor, which I love more than anything. The soundtrack is peak melodic death metal. Yeah, it's beautiful. Whenever someone asks me what I listen to, I just answer music to avoid conversation. Yeah, if you're not interested in talking to them, yeah, that makes sense. But if you want to have the conversation but not tell them anything, just tell them Tibetan throat singing, and then they'll ask what that is, and then you pull it up on YouTube, and then they'll smile nervously at you, and be like, "Oh, okay," and then they'll change the subject. Works every time. Or you can steal the He-Man thing. It never fails. They just and don't explain to them that's what you're doing. Just like blank stone face, like, oh, you want a music? I like this song. And they'll never ask you to play music again. Okay, that is not good. I'm kind of lost. Whoops. Okay, hold on. Let me focus a bit. I'm a label freak, so I use... Wait, hold on. So I use many labels for genres. To be honest, I'm not even sure what half the songs, what genres they would fall under. I'm like, I just like this song. Some of them are like pretty obvious, but there are some I'm like, I don't know what this is. I like some synth pop music, like a few songs, but I didn't for the longest time. I did not know what the genre was called. But yeah. So I'd be like, oh, right now I'm super into melodic. Yeah, I don't even know what those genres are. You will say something like that to me, and I'll be like, uh, I'm vaguely aware that it sounds metal or metallic, if that's a word. But that's about as close as an understanding that you'll get from me. Even at my parties, when someone wants to wait, hold on. Okay, that's not good. Wait, I'm focusing on this track. I'll look at chat in a second. Anyway, even at parties when someone puts music, I'm like, all right, who has the Spotify Premium? Pretending that's why I shouldn't play music. Oh, okay, yeah. You know what? Sneaky answer. But I feel like the older I get, the less sneaky techniques, for lack of a better term, I find myself using. I'll just deadpan be like, I don't want to play music. Life is too short to do things that do not spark joy. Marie Kondo's advice is more than just more than just organizing things at home. I don't know what this is, so we'll go here. I really enjoy labeling music and determining its influences. We did have one musician here, but he's been very busy lately. He doesn't pop around much. Seller. So I imagine the music conversation would take off and go to places I will not understand what you guys are talking about. Because he's one of those people who are like really into even making music, right? I don't know if you make music or are just an enthusiast. I've like written papers on the evolutionary tree of every metal genres. That is impressive. Hmm. I don't know what boost is for. You know what? I'll take it. My old music teacher would love you. He's also like a proper musician, but sadly, I can't suggest his music to avoid doxing myself. You know what? Understandable. I technically make music. I'm a guitarist in a few bands. I haven't released anything yet. If you make music, you're a musician. If you pick up a pencil, you make a doodle, you are artist. That's how it works. I'm like, come on, Mr. C, why won't you come up with the stage name? Now anyone can find where you work. Maybe he wants to be famous. Well, I think like if he's older, usually older people grew up before they had to, keep their identity safe. Like back in the day, ancient times, Everyone's name and address was in like a phone book, you know? Talk about like doxing yourself. It's like, hey, wanna know where this person lives? The only thing you need to know is their first and last name. How times have changed. Oh, the music is getting creepy. That's not good. God damn it. But yeah, I completely understand. Even sometimes when I'm talking about like my old work and stuff, I always just I sometimes just pause and I think really carefully about what I'm gonna say. So I'm like, will this dox me? No, I don't think Maxine actually means it. I think they're just memeing. You know, if you really don't want to get doxxed and someone guesses something correctly, you don't acknowledge it. And in some cases, you don't deny it either. You know? Because, sure, you may not confirm, but what people will do is like, okay, how do you, they're not confirming, but they will deny. So what they do is they make 1,000 guesses, and by process of elimination, that's how they like scrape for information. I'll take this. Yeah, I'm not familiar with the artist either. He's in Metallic. Oh, yeah, I don't know what the band members' names are. But hey, you never know. They might have like a secret double life where by day they are a famous metal band player. Ooh. But by day they are secretly a teacher. Ooh. He flies to New Zealand every day to teach high schoolers that disrespect him. Hey, you never know. If he's that famous and rich, he might be pulling a Taylor Swift and, you know, paying for the flight every day. I don't know what made me fall off, but I'm upset. That wasn't so bad. Because Mr. C is a musician. Whenever we're meant to analyze music, some people would do his songs for the meme. Honestly, okay, if you're analyzing literature, you can always make the debate of, oh, the author said this, he could have meant that. And, there's like a debate because at the end of the day, you'll never really know. It's a discussion. But if they do that, he can just straight up say, like, nope, that is wrong. I didn't write it because of that reason. So honestly, they're just shooting themselves in the foot. Uh-oh. Whew. That went well. Oh, he's definitely rich. He's a member of the most popular metal band in the world. Yeah, I can imagine. You said you've not seen Metalocalypse. Basically, the plot is just this band is like insanely famous. They have more money than some countries combined. Their fans basically cult like and worship the very ground they walk on. So it's very interesting. But they all have the combined intelligence of a sea cucumber. And they're kind of just like vibing, doing their own thing. There is like some subplots there which are kind of interesting. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a proper ending. I think it got cancelled. I'm still upset about that. Let's go this way. I like how they go yo. I think it's so cute. I don't know what luck is for. I'll just take it. For my web dev assignment, we're meant to make a website on a musician or band. Fun fact, my web dev teacher is a DJ in his spare time. He said not to do a website on him because he knows there's not much info out there about him. Honestly, understandable. When my old music theory teachers would give students a song to analyze, but me and him would talk metal a lot because we are both metalheads, and he would give me complex metal songs to analyze. One day he gave me the song I by, I don't know how to pronounce that, which is a 23-minute long extreme metal song. I didn't even know there were songs that long. I think a 5-minute song is long. 23 minutes. How? Uh-oh. Okay, what on earth is this? Okay, I was thinking it was like a boss fight or something. So we just had to go around it. Never mind. I was overthinking it. Because having musicians as my teachers, two is too many. Oh, then don't listen to Bong Ripper, their 55-minute long song. You know what? I'm good. I'll pass. I'm sure it's great. I'll take your word for it. Oh. That's not good. I didn't even die that many times. How did I fail the shard? Ah, well. Bong Ripper's long ass songs are only really good when you're baked off your mind. Yeah, that I don't think I'll enjoy it. I'm a very sober person. Shit, where do I go? They do make stoner doom metal after all. Oh, okay. I was not aware. But I guess that's how you could describe their music. If someone just asks, where do we go? Go this way. Uh-oh. I love this train track. I don't like the trains though. There's been a huge trend in networking recently that's basically warranty fraud, otherwise known as programmable networking transceivers. Warranty fraud how? I'm not sure what you're talking about. But I am curious. Honestly, I'm just a male lady. Why am I running through a war zone? I desperately need help. Mm. Oh, perfect. This gives us health. Ooh. Not a lot of ground to run on. Sometimes companies are... Oh, let me read this. Sometimes companies are buttheads and will make third-party transceivers not work on their switch, or they'll straight up void your warranty for using third-party ones. Programmable networking transceivers. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Also, I feel like I'm getting the hang of this game. Ow. Ignore that. Sometimes I should learn to just keep my mouth shut. You know? Hey. Ooh. Okay, hold on. Okay. Not that I endorse lying to tech support, but I do endorse programmable networking transceivers if you were to lie. Granted, warranty void stickers are illegal anyways. Honestly, true. I'll take this one. I actually wasn't even aware that they're illegal. This is the wrong path to take. But yeah, I actually don't trust a lot of tech support. Gotta bounce. Have a good stream. Well, thanks for stopping by. Bye bye. I should think that being in the air was good for this game. Yeah, it just slows you down. I'm learning the meta. Honestly, it's super fun. My room's gotten warm. The humidifier is really helping. It does keep the room a little bit toasty. Actually, there's a skip dialogue button. Just like entire conversation. We'll take the health one. I don't know what the boss fight is here. But I have a feeling we'll need it. Hi, Hot Shack. Welcome on in. We're playing Haste and yapping about music. Among other things. Okay, our health regen's based on distance. Ah, shit. I was gonna say our health regen's on distance, so this thing is amazing. We'll be fully healed in no time. Can we actually just sprint through these things? Honestly, yeah, we can just run through them. So I was scratching my arm. That was pretty good. We are getting better. Yeah, skipping all of this. I'll take this one. I don't know what luck is for. It's okay. For a second, I thought I didn't make it past that thing. Ugh. we're doing pretty well. Hmm. Yeah, we could take this. Okay, sometimes these encounters give us health, so we're gonna go here. I was avoiding them because I just didn't want to talk to people. Turns out they give us things. Ew. Okay, we're doing fine. This is fine. Ooh. Okay, we might finish this shard and then call it a day. So, we still have a bit of a ways to go. I can't see them. Oh well. Was not meant to be. Oh, come on. Oh, wait, we might make it. Okay. Never mind. I was about to panic. I'm like, I don't think we're gonna make it. Okay. I think we'll take the health one. I don't want to talk to them. Unless they give us stuff. I guess not. Uh-uh. I don't think we're gonna make it. Uh-oh. You know what? We'll be fine. See? I didn't doubt myself for a second. You know what? Maybe I'll just Google like a 20-minute video about the lore of this game, rather than listening to all the dialogue. Hmm. This one's super useful. Hmm. You know what? I'll take this one. Yeah, I can afford that. Okay, I don't know what to expect here. Wait, is this a snake again? Oh, we know how to do this one. That's unfair. Well, we failed a shard, but I think this is where we're gonna call it today. Thanks everyone for stopping by. We had a little bit of a gaming stream today. Not much art done. I am a bit of a tired cat, so I'm gonna call it a little early today. Uh, Ordi, yeah? You can definitely go for another 22 hours, I believe. No. I really wanna just curl up in my blankets and go to sleep. Yeah, hopefully be a lot more productive tomorrow. Today was a semi-rest day. So Ryan, have a good rest. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna raid anyone. Yeah, I don't feel like it. So, thanks everyone for stopping by, and hope to see you next time. Bye bye.